Gotta set lineups, bro. There's a lot of baseball going on right now.
Oh my gosh. It is Rick Kamla. It is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A, and we are the Fantasy NBA today. So we gave you an absolute extravaganza on the Dallas Mavericks. It took about 50 minutes. Okay, there's so much to talk about, and so today we're not taking any shortcuts. We're going to go as long as necessary here on the Atlanta Hawks, the Miami Heat, and the Orlando Magic. Coincidentally, three teams from the Southeast Division in the National Basketball Association, but Hawks, Heat, and Magic on the docket today. Deep dives from a fantasy perspective. And we want to tell you about Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, we are deep into the NBA and NHL finals, and Bet Online has more ways for you to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling right along with the largest selection of odds on everything. We have updated odds on MLB, UFC, boxing, tennis, NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino for all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. We start with Doc's Hawks and their fantasy MVP. Doc, who was the fantasy MVP for the Atlanta Hawks last year?
I'm going to go with a guy named Dyson Daniels. I know you're not going to like that, but I do. 76 games, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4.5 dimes, 3 steals, 0.7 blocks, almost a block, 1 3, shot 49% from the floor. Did he really only shoot 59% from the free throw line? That surprises me. I didn't realize he was that bad from the line, nor do I care. That's my MVP.
Dyson Daniels. Yeah, the free throw shooting was a mystery. I looked at that last night when I was preparing for this. I knew it wasn't good, but I looked. It's like 58, right? It's bad. And I'm like, what is it with the Aussies? Like, because Ben Wallace sucks at shooting free throws. 6'10", rocked up, defensive, used to be like one of the best defensive players on earth. Dyson Daniels, 6'8", rocked up, looks like he could lift the arena, right? And a terrible free throw shooter. Aussies, get in the gym, work on your free throws. It's like the guys work on their upper body and they forget their legs. They got these little chicken legs. They forgot leg day. Like they can't forget free throw day in Australia as they prep for upcoming events. Anyway, my fantasy MVP is Trae Young. Doc was always a big fan of leg day back in the day. Trae Young is my fantasy MVP for the Hawks, Doc. He had an absolutely magnificent season, led the league in dimes at 11.6 per game, 1.2 steals. Thank you, Trae. 24.2 points, 2.9 threes. All fantastic. He played 36 minutes a game in 76 games, dude. 76 games in 36 minutes. There's might be 1, 2, 3 guys that played more actual minutes last year than Trae Young. Maybe nobody. But the dude plays. He loves the game. I've always been a big fan of Trae Young. There have been like periods of interruption when coaches are getting fired, and I didn't like some of the immature stuff with Nate McMillan, taking your ball and going home from practice and all that kind of stuff. I didn't like all that, but it's immature stuff that you kind of iron out as you get older, and I'm a huge Trae Young fan, especially in fantasy ball. So he is, does he have deficiencies and weaknesses in reality? Yeah, he does. Is he going to win a championship as the number one guy? I don't believe he will, but I believe if you get him with a Wemby, right, like just a rock star face of franchise alpha, I think Trae Young could then become a championship player. But as a number one, I don't see it happening. All right, Doc, players who surprised for the Atlanta Hawks last year are?
Well, Dyson, and that's the reason I had him as the MVP. Where he was drafted as opposed to what he did for your team. I mean, if you drafted Dyson Daniels, you may have also had Trae Young and another superstar on your team. And Daniels was a difference maker. So he was obviously surprising. Can he do 3 steals again? I think he kind of liked being in that spotlight. and getting all those steals and becoming a fantasy darling. I think he was going to try to do it again. Will he be overdrafted this coming year? Probably so. But, the algorithm says he was, top 15 value. So do with that what you wish. Bogdan Bogdanovic, 24 games, a bunch of nothing. Just awful season for him. Clint Capella finally gave way to our guy, Onyeka Okongwu. So that was disappointing for Capella. And then Jalen Johnson getting hurt yet again. Rick, you're always talking about 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out. I feel like we're at 2.5 strikes on our guy, Jalen Johnson, who is still one of my favorite players in the league.
We're at 2 strikes, dude. We're at 2 strikes. By the way, I meant Ben Simmons. I think I said Ben Wallace a moment ago. Love Ben Wallace. No fly zone.
They both suck at free throws. You didn't lose out either way there.
Good point. Ben Wallace was a dreadful free throw shooter. Worst free throw shooter of all time, I thought, was Chris Dudley. He was like in the 30s. Like it was unbelievable. Remember, he's the guy that Shaq dunked on and then threw to the scores table. Like he literally dunked on him and then just threw him down. And Dudley got up and threw the ball at Shaq. Shaq was already up the court laughing at him, man. That was a dope moment in NBA history. That was so ruthless by Shaq. Oh my God. And I think he might have like anyway, look at the highlight. It was extremely disrespectful. Extremely. Dyson Daniels surprised, okay? 14, 6, and 4, 3 steals, 0.7 blocks. You went through the stat line, 76 games. I mean, a big-time surprise. The surprise of the year. You could say Quentin Grimes and Josh Giddey with their late season surges and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, those were surprising and all that. But Dyson Daniels was wire to wire, one most improved. He got my vote for Defensive Player of the Year. I thought Cade should have won MIP and Dyson should have gotten DPOY. The voters always screw it up. I mean, they gave Halliburton's Eastern Conference Finals MVP trophy to Pascal Siakam. Why? I don't know. They were feeling generous that day. The bunch of haters is who the voters are, if you ask me. And Vit Krejci. Doc, Vit Krejci had some nice moments when Jalen Johnson was out as a starter, picked him up, got some good utility out of him in fantasy. Because there wasn't a lot that surprised me about this team. So I'm kind of hitting you with Vit Krejci. So let's move on to players who disappointed for the Atlanta Hawks, Doc, and who you got in that regard.
Well, Jalen Johnson getting hurt, obviously. Oh, wait, I must have got confused. I think I did a combination of players that surprised me and players that disappointed me last time because Capella, disappointment. Bogdanovic, disappointment. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, I think I got confused last time, Rick. Jalen, Karis LeVert, Risa did not disappoint me, nor did he impress me. He was just sort of existing. But Bogdanovic and Capella, those are the disappointments. I don't have any idea what I did.
It's all right, dude. Andre Lemouche, a.k.a. AL, who is our AI, said Ben Wallace had the lowest career free throw percentage at 41.4%. Worst in NBA history. My God. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad. I'm asking him for Chris Dudley's free throw percentage right now. DeAndre Jordan just comes to mind as well with the hack of Jordan and all that. Shaq obviously was a pretty dreadful free throw shooter, but I always made the big ones. That's what Shaq would tell you. I will say that Zach Risa was a disappointment, okay? And it's not his fault. You know what was disappointing, Doc? 24 minutes a game for Zach Risa. Did you know that Zach Risa started 73 games last year? He started 73 games and played 24 minutes. That doesn't make sense to me, bro. You're starting every game and you're only playing half the game. And you're the number 1 pick in the draft. What the F is up with that, dude? DeAndre Jordan, second worst free throw shooter of all time at 47.5. Shaq is 5th at 52.7. Love the historical weave-ins here. So that was disappointing that the Hawks didn't play him more. I'm not mad at Zach Risa. This is a Quinn Snyder thing and an upper management that's been blown out thing. Jalen Johnson, Doc, big disappointment. It's like I have won 2 straight Cam Dynasty championships here with Jalen Johnson on my team. And I have not had Jalen Johnson for either of these championship runs. I have had Braun, I have had Harden, I have had Mobley, I have had Cade. And the first year when I didn't win, I didn't have Cade and I didn't have LeBron. And so those two dudes have been like mega for me. Andre Lamouche, everybody, look out. If I can get a healthy season from Jalen Johnson, what? He played 36 games last year. Doc, he was on his way to being an all-star snub. And I say that without sarcasm. You know that guys like Jalen Johnson, they got to have a year and then back it up with another year, and then they make it that second year, right? A guy, you can't just like shoot up. You're an Atlanta Hawk. You're already having a tough time getting Trae Young to the all-star game. Like Jalen wasn't going to make the team, but he was on his way to the bubble. And then the bubble burst. But he went 19, 10, and 5. He was 1-1-1, 1 block, 1.6 steals, and 1.2 threes. None of that is disappointing. The 36 games wasn't just disappointing. It was a massive buzzkill. Doc, let's move on to offseason outlook for the Atlanta Hawks because they have a potentially interesting offseason coming up here. And look, did you have anything else to say on surprises and disappointments? I just want to check real quick.
No, since I already did disappointments twice, I'm good.
So, do you believe the Hawks will enter the Kevin Durant sweepstakes? Do you want your Hawks to enter the Kevin Durant sweepstakes? And what's the chatter in the state of Georgia about that right now?
The only thing I've heard in the state of Georgia lately is about how bad the Braves suck. I've not heard one word about Kevin Durant, not one word about the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, but then again, I'm not like out there with the people. I'm more like in the woods, like Andre, just hanging out in the woods by myself.
And playing golden tea and
sipping on
woodsman golden beverages.
Yeah. I mean, to me, Kevin Durant is going to the Spurs. It just feels like a done deal. I don't think we could talk about all the, the Miami Heat and the Hawks and the Rockets, whatever. I feel like he's going to the Spurs. So I don't think it really matters if the Hawks want him or not. I don't know that he would want to come play here anyway. But, yeah, that would certainly do a number on Zach Risaché's value, wouldn't it?
Oh, boy. And Jalen Johnson. Chris Dudley, by the way, I was kind of right, but not really. 45.8% career free throw shooter for Chris Dudley, but only 1.7 attempts per game, which is kind of crazy because he was a big. And so it's not enough attempts to qualify, but Chris Dudley, historically awful free throw shooter, and Shaq. Not right now, you're watching our podcast, but make a little note of it. Watch Shaq disrespects Chris Dudley, and you're going to laugh your freaking ass off. Isn't that right, Shaq? That's right, Kamla Juice. Doc, will the Trae conversation ever go away? This morning, I'm prepping for the show, running through Twitter. I see another report come out about, Sacramento, and the Hawks have had a conversation about Trae Young. Is that conversation ever going to go away? And do you think that there's any possibility of this becoming the summer of Trae Young and them trading him or not?
I mean, it's always a possibility. I mean, you're talking about the Atlanta Hawks here. They've never been geniuses when it comes to making basketball moves. You just never know what's going to happen with them. And Trae's name has been out there for a couple of years now, like every year since they traded Luka Doncic to get him. What? That happened? What? Yeah, it's possible. It's just like Miles Turner in Indiana. No matter how good things are going, Miles Turner's name always comes up.
Good point.
Just like in Atlanta, Trae Young's name will always come up. Could it be the summer of Trae? Sure. Do I expect it to happen? No, not really. They've got a good nucleus here, man. Like Trae Young and Jalen Johnson and Okongwu and Dyson Daniels and Risachet. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Is he going to win a championship? Probably not. But let's get Jalen Johnson healthy. Maybe bring in a couple role players that play defense and can hold things down for this team. And let's go try to have a good season and make some noise in the playoffs. But I don't know, dude. I would think Trae is always on the table.
I love the answer. I agree. I mean, I think it has a chance to happen. I don't think it will. My thing on this is, why would you trade Trae Young? Like that just the whole let's trade Trae Young. It doesn't make sense to me. You have a generational player. You have a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Doc, Trae Young legitimately has a chance to be a top 10 point guard of all time with Westbrook, with Paul, with Harden, with, and then you go up the chain, right, to the Isaiahs and the Oscars and the Stephs and the Magics, okay? Gary Payton, John Stockton. I don't have the list in front of me. Trae Young has a legitimate chance to join those guys, at least statistically. If not with championships, at least statistically. I would be shocked if Trae Young is not top 5 in assists all time at the end of his career. I will be shocked, Doc. That's how historically awesome this guy is. So I'm not trading a historically awesome player, by the way, in his prime. So the whole talk about it to me is just stupid. The Hawks free agents, Karis LeVert, Clint Capella, and Larry Nance. Larry Nance will be a good guy to bring back low dough. Clint Capella, that ship has sailed. He'll play somewhere else next year. And Karis LeVert at low dough, I'd look back into bringing him back as well. But he misses so many damn games. I'm not giving Karis LeVert any kind of serious money. Draft picks for the Atlanta Hawks are 13 and 22. So they are at the edge of the lottery. And then they go at 22 in their new regime. It's like this cobbled together collaboration of human beings. I don't damn know what they're doing in Atlanta, but they will make these picks and probably screw them up. I want to remind everybody, the Hawks were getting draft picks right when Travis Schlenk was calling the shots, okay? John Collins, Kevin Herter, Jalen Johnson. My boy was drilling picks in the mid to late teens, okay? And they blew him out, of course, because organizations are dumb. And now Travis Schlenk isn't even a shot caller. He's with Winger in Washington. Travis Schlenk, to me, is a badass gangster. He comes from the Golden State program, a dynasty. And the way the league is treating him right now, I think is god-awful. All right, Doc, players to watch for the Atlanta Hawks heading into next year. Travis, they miss you in Atlanta, bro. Trust me.
Jalen Johnson's number one. We gotta get him back and healthy. And the fact that you've won 2 Cam dynasties in a row with injured Jalen Johnson on your team is terrifying. The rest of the league should be frightened. Can Dyson Daniels do it again? That's the big question. Are you going to blow a second-round pick on him? And if you do, is he going to return second-round value? Can he sustain it? Can he keep doing it? Especially if Jalen Johnson is healthy. And then Zach Risachet, is he going to build on what he did last year, what he did last year was incredibly inconsistent. 30 points one game, 4 the next, 8 the next, then an 11, then a 7, then a 6, then an 8, then a 30. It was just all over the place, and it can never get in a groove. So I think those are the 3 guys that I'm most interested in seeing what they do.
Doc, I'm trolling Andre right now. I said, did you just hear what Doc just said about Cam Dynasty? But you said it's scary that I won back-to-back without Jalen Johnson.
It is.
So I'm trolling Andre, who has taken over Doc's team, and Andre's now in the Cam Dynasty. And trust me, I got my eye on Andre. I ain't sleeping on Andre. My guy Andre, we call him AL, aka AI, for a reason. This guy brilliant, man, and I'm welcome. But this is the difference between me and James Harden, Doc. This is the difference between me and James. First of all, I'm a champion over here. He's not. Second of all, Doc, I run into the smoke. I don't run from the smoke. Harden sees smoke and he bails, bro. He's headed for the hills up where you are in Dahlonega, Georgia. When I see the smoke, I run into the smoke. And Andre saying, ain't no one scared over here. I love this, dude. I can't wait for the matchups with Andre. Oh man, I'm so psyched for the Cam Dynasty season. All right.
Well, he said he said you better win a third one while you still can.
And like I told you, if I get a 3-peat, I may chill a little bit.
Dude, that's when you drop the mic and just retire. Who wants to run this league? I'm out. I've done everything I can do here.
Well, it's a cash league, so I'll continue to milk that cow as long as the milk is good. Oh my gosh. No, I will manage and commissioner the Cam Dynasty until God comes to get me, man. This is a legacy league. All right, players to watch for me. Onyeka Okongwu for the Hawks, okay? When we list our goody guy centers, Doc, and I'm guilty of this, okay? We talk about Miles Turner and Brook Lopez and Alex Sarr and, the guys that are going to give you blocks and threes. I don't really mention Okongwu's name, and I should. It's just an example of he's still kind of under the radar, still kind of chilling. People, even I don't know, we still don't really know where we're going with this. But let me give you some stats. The season numbers on Onyeka Okongwu are pretty good. 13, 9, and 2 PRA, 0.9 blocks, 0.9 steals, 0.6 threes in 27.9 minutes. He played 74 games. This is the number that really matters, the numbers. In 40 starts, Doc, everybody stop and listen to these numbers for Onyeka Okongwu, because these are the numbers that matter. These are the numbers you should be ranking him on, not the numbers I just gave you. 15, 10, and 3 PRA in 40 starts. Is that elite? It's just off elite. 0.9 blocks, 1.2 steals, 0.8 threes, 31.2 minutes per game. I believe this year, Doc, that he will become a 1-1-1 guy. We'll get 1 block, 1 steal, 1 3 from Onyeka Okongwu, and he's going to give you a dub and be a fan-frickin-tastic fantasy player. So, he belongs in that group with the Turners, the Lopezes, all those guys. I think he's going to be that good. And then Zach Risachet, Doc, will he get 30 minutes a game and become a fantasy stud? If he gets 30 minutes a game, I think we're going to be really excited about what Zach Risachet puts up, especially going from year 1 to year 2. There's going to be all kinds of intrinsic improvements. All right. Last year, 75 games, 73 starts. That's impressive to me. Like we said, 24.6 minutes. It just doesn't make sense. But in that time, he went 12.6 points, 3.6 boards, 1.2 combined defensive stats, 1.6 three balls, shot 46%, 35 from 3, 71 from the line. It's promising, okay? So I am looking at Risachet as a sleeper, and I want to see in the preseason if his minutes are like the same as Trae Young and Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. So if it's a preseason game, and if Trae Young's playing 23 minutes, I want to see Risachet playing 23 minutes and not 17, because that'll tell me that we're still mixing up his position and we're dividing it up and we're buzz-killing the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Hawks, play him. What the hell are you doing? All right, Doc, let's move on to the Miami Heat here. And by the way, we are still on time. Fantasy MVP for the Miami Heat, Doc, is?
I don't know. I got to get over there. I wasn't ready for you. You give me yours first.
I will. My Miami Heat fantasy MVP is Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro had, God bless America. This is a season right here, bro. 24, 5, and 5. That's Kobe-esque. 1.1 defensive stats, which pretty much sucks. But, at 3.3 threes, let's get back to the good stuff. That's rock star. His shooting splits were amazing. 47, 37, 88, played 77 games. And I'm not going to go on some soliloquy about how he's a gamer and so tough and loves the game, because Tyler Herro's had years with a bunch of major chunks. He's had playoff runs that he wasn't able to finish. They're major injuries. They're like broken hands and stuff like that. But the young fella has missed a lot of games with injury. Not this year. And hopefully this is kind of the way we keep it moving forward. It was a career year across the board for Tyler Herro. He's going to get a big extension this summer, according to reports. He was number 32 in basketball monster value, which, Doc, makes him a third-round pick. Okay? He gave third-round value last year. Question for you. Can he maintain that? In the third round, let's say the back half of the third round, Doc. Is Tyler Herro on your radar, or does that sound like nutty to take Tyler Herro in the third round?
I think it's fine. I like Herro. I like Tyler Herro. He's the best player on the Heat, right? I don't have a problem with that.
So do you think he can sustain this? Do you think this, my career year thing, right? If you spike and it completely defies the rest of your history, which this year kind of does for Tyler Herro, and he has been a sixth man, and he has had, good years and stuff like that. But is this a sort of out-of-body experience spike year where I can play the career year theory card and like fade him next year? Or do you think this is the new Tyler Herro and he's going to continue to do this?
I mean, if the Heat don't make any major moves, Hero's going to do the same thing again because it's him and it's Bam against the world out there. If they make a bunch of moves, then if Kevin Durant ends up in Miami, I don't know that Tyler Herro has this kind of year, but as long as it's just Tyler Herro and Bam and friggin' Andrew Wiggins running around out there, I think Tyler Herro is going to score.
I love running around out there. Like kids in a church league. They're just running around out there, right? Trying to stab the basketball with forks because nobody can like hold the ball. Anyway, I agree with everything you said right there. The career year theory article that I presume I will be doing at some point for sportsethos.com. It's under construction, obviously, but Herro will be a guy, Doc, that's sort of on the long list, and I don't know if he'll make the short list because I don't know what's going to be around him. Doc said it. If you go get DeRozan, if you go get Durant, somehow you go get Bradley Beal, you think that's a smart move, which would be a dumb move, but if they thought it was a smart move. But if you bring in another scorer, then I'm gonna fade Tyler Herro. If you don't bring in another scorer, and this is who you got, then I'm gonna be back on Tyler Herro next year. It's that simple. All right. So who is your fantasy MVP for the Heat last year, Doc?
You said Herro, so I'll say Bam Adebayo. 78 games, 18 points, 10 boards, 1.3 steals, 0.7 blocks, 4.3 assists. He's an underrated big man passer. He just is and always has been. Only 2.1 turnovers per game, which is kind of nice as well. Did Bam hit any threes? 1 3-pointer per game. So all of that looks pretty good to me. A steal, basically a block and a 3 with all those dimes and rebounds and points. Bam, I don't know if he's an underrated fantasy player, but he may be a little bit disrespected. I like Adebayo. I never have him on my team. He always gets drafted too early for my liking, but good numbers.
I completely agree with you on Bam Adebayo. I like him. I would mess with him. He's always drafted when I'm in another mindset. Like I'm looking for maybe a Donovan Mitchell or a Devin Booker when Bam Adebayo's getting taken. I feel like he's overdrafted a little bit, especially based on the lack of fantasy gold. Not a big steal guy, always not been a shot blocker, and until last year had not been a three-point guy. And I'm like, why are y'all so crazy about Bam Adebayo? He's not helping you in the three most important categories. Yes, his PRA is magnificent, but when you're lighting the fan, like third round, bro, I need you to be checking boxes across the board. I don't want to take incomplete players. You know, like a Şengün. Şengün makes no sense in the third round to me. I mean, the PRA is magnificent, and you're getting like not a 3, not a block, maybe a steal. It's like, it's a no. Anyway, let's move on to players who surprised. And I'll keep the conversation going here with Bam Adebayo, Doc. It surprised me a little bit because watching Team USA win the gold in Paris, you know, we did see Bam Adebayo have some 3-ball games, right? Chilling in the corner, waiting on kick-out threes, and he was making some of them. And I believe he had one game with 3 threes in the game. And it might have been one of the exhibitions. I can't remember, but he was really exploring the three-point shot with Team USA. And then we saw it manifest itself with 1 3-ball per game. I thought that was really cool, Doc, that you were in the lab working on it, and then bam, we get immediate results. Bam, I guess pun intended with Bam. Since March, Bam was 1.5 3-pointers made per game, according to Andre Lemouche. So to end the season, wow, that's a great stat. 1.5 3-balls. They built it as the season went along. But now, Doc, Bam Adebayo's almost a 1-1-1 guy. He went 0.7 blocks. Bam. Bro, come on in here. Bro, you can't boom, 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 bang on this DPOY drum and give us 0.7 blocks, bro. Bam, we love you out here. Doc, talk to me, dude. 0.7 blocks is non-negotiable, bro. It's god-awful. Bam Adebayo is super athletic, super brilliant defensively, highly strung, motivated. He's got a motor. 0.7 blocks, bro? 0.7 blocks. Like, anytime I don't get no love for DPOY. You shouldn't! You're not even blocking a shot a game, dude. And I know he guards a multitude of positions and he's great at switches and all. I get it. Block a damn shot, bro.
Plus 1.3 steals. He's at 2 stocks.
He is. So he's at 1-1-1. He's at exactly 3, 0.7, 1.3, and 1, right? With the block, steals, and threes. But anyway, I had to bang on Bam a little bit. I mean, block a damn shot every once in a while. Doc, he got up to 35.7 on 3 balls last year. And I want to make a point about Bam Adebayo. I'm going to be more bullish on Bam in this draft season than I've ever been, Doc, because of the 3 ball. And with that stat from Andre, knowing now, Bam might give us 1.5 threes per game. And what if Bam Adebayo starts blocking some shots? I still feel like there's upside here. You know you're going to get about a 20, 10, and 5-ish PRA. You know he's going to play a ton of games because he loves the game. So I am looking at him 3rd or 4th round this year, Doc. He is on my radar on those 2 rounds.
Yeah, he's only 28 years old. He'll be 28 before the season starts. So he's still got 2 years before he's 30. So we got 2 more seasons of him being in his 20s, which I like that. I love the stat by Andre because, I mean, Bam could pull a Brook Lopez.
Good point.
Like, he could go from no blocks to, okay, I was feeling it in March and April. I've been working on it all summer. I'm going to shoot 4 a game and try to hit, or maybe 5 a game and try to hit 2 of them.
There you go.
I don't think it's crazy to think he could hit 1.5 to 2 3-pointers this year. And like you said, the dude's 6'10". He plays a lot of center. Block some shots, man. But like we talked about recently, shots are harder to block now than they used to be. These guys are all bigger and more athletic and jumping higher and fading. It's just harder to block shots than it used to be.
Go hunt, man.
Bam Adebayo had the same number of block shots as Dyson Daniels, and there's a lot of height difference between those 2 guys. So, come on, Bam.
I'm just saying. I said this on NBA radio about, like, I understand he's one of the best defensive players in the league, but dude, when this Wemby cat he's blocking 4 shots a game, bro. He's like 5Xing Bam in the shot blocking. All right, I think we made the point. Who else surprised me? Doc, Andrew Wiggins surprised me. Okay, I actually had, like, this segment is like full for me. Because a lot of Heat members surprised me. Okay, let's talk about Andrew Wiggins here for a minute, Doc. In 17 games with the Miami Heat, I thought he killed it on both ends. Dude, in these 17 games with the Heat, he went 19, 4, and 3. I like that. So 1 block, 1.2 steals, 2.1 threes. The fantasy gold was off the charts, bro. He was 1, 1, and 2. And that was in 32 minutes a game. Again, with the Heat, if you don't bring in another big name, and your top 3 players are Bam, Herro, and Wiggins, I am on Wiggins, Doc. Big-time fantasy sleeper. I think he's going to be a mid-round gem. He is an availability guy. He does love the game. He's kind of like real laid back and low-key and stuff, but this dude plays, all right? You can rely on him playing 70, 75, 77 games. So, Doc, the question is, are you high on Wiggins for next season if the Heat do not add a megastar? Are you, like, seeing what I'm seeing in, like mid-round, like, I don't know, guys, round 6, round 7, round 8, somewhere in that range? Like, yes, I would like to get myself into some Andrew Wiggins at that point.
I'm not opposed to it. I have no problem with Andrew Wiggins. He has been disappointing basically every season since he had that incredible year like 4 years ago. When he was an all-star and all that, which is just bizarre. But yeah, I mean, I think if the time is right and I need a wing player that's going to get me some steals, blocks, and threes, I'm good with it.
You remember why he made the All-Star team that year? The Golden State was amazing, and Golden State's a huge market, and they stuffed the ballot box to get him to the. And remember, he started, bro.
Was that Adam Silver?
No, Adam Silver had nothing to do with it. The people out in Golden State. Dude, is Dub Nation big? Dub Nation's a pretty big deal, right?
It is.
Dub Nation's a big deal. Dub Nation goes worldwide, all that kind of stuff. So that's why you remember when Yao Ming was such a big deal, and you had all these other Rockets getting all these other All-Star votes, right? They were coming from China, and they were only voting for these other cats because of Yao Ming, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Random ass NBA history. So Andrew Wiggins on my radar, big time, dude. Davion Mitchell, Doc, surprised me. Okay, like the career is flagging. You're like, oh my God, I thought Davion was going to be so good after winning the chip at Baylor, and comes to the league and it's Sacramento's a no, Toronto's a no. Like, Doc, I was like, were we really that wrong about Davion? Like, what's going on here? We weren't. Okay, he just was not in spots that fit. Now he's in a spot that fits. In 30 games with the Miami Heat, he went 10, 3, and 5. Decent PRA, 1.4 steals, 1.4 threes. I like 31.6 minutes. And Doc, he came off the bench. I want to say it was almost half and half with starts and reserve games. But Davion Mitchell really surprised me. He was a big topic of conversation for us on a lot of our late season shows.
Well, and he's one of my favorite players from last season, because it was you and I sitting right here, and I go, Rick, are you aware that over the last 3 games, Davion Mitchell's done this and this and this? And you were kind of like, no. And it was quiet. It was like 10 points, quiet. But he was doing all this other stuff. And I was like, I didn't really realize it either until like this morning. But then the light bulb went off for both of us. So it's like, oh man, I'm all in on Davion Mitchell. And he kept it going from that moment on. Like he was really fun. And one of the better under the radar recommendations we made on the show was like, wait a second, Davion Mitchell's happening right now. Get on board before it's too late. And I think people were able to do that, and he was super fun. So I love Davion Mitchell last year. I'm kind of excited about him this year. Like if last year was any indication, and maybe he's on a team now that finally believes in him and is going to give him a role that he deserves and can handle, it could be a really fun year for him. And then Kel'el Ware is another player that there's so much potential there and so much to work with. And like, oh my God, this guy is big. He hits threes. He blocks shots. It's all there. He went to Indiana, my college. And is he going to break out this year? I have no idea. I'm figuring you've got a lot to say about Kel'el Ware.
He's another one of my guys that surprised. Just quickly though, we like Kel'el Ware, right? We like where we're going here. Like we're on board for his future, right?
Yeah.
We're okay. We like Bam Adebayo, right? One of the better big men in the sport, right?
Yep.
We just talked about Wiggins. We have a positive opinion on Wiggins. I think it really grew stale in Golden State too, Doc, and that dipped his stats. Now, remember Kerr started losing trust in him and bringing him off the bench. Like that thing just started getting weird. And then bam, he's in Miami, Heat culture, and Wiggins plugged into that. And so I think Wiggins is back. I think he's like re-engaged and motivated and all that. Okay. Andrew Wiggins is a champion. He's an all-star. Okay, cool. Tyler Herro, he's one of the best guards in the league. And then you got Davion Mitchell. Your starting lineup is Davion, Herro, Wiggins, Bam, and Ware. I like all 5 players. You know what the problem is? They don't have the guy. And that's why, right there, they may get to 6 or 7 in the East, but they're not going to rise above. And that's why Pat Riley's going to go big game hunting this offseason. And obviously that would change the fantasy computations immensely. But here's what I got on Kel'el Ware. I was surprised he only played 64 games and only started 36 games. It felt like more in both. But he went 9 points, 7 boards, 1.1 blocks, 0.5 threes. So we have a potential 2 block, 1.5 to 2 three ball guy. We have a potential 2 and 2 guy in the blocks and threes. He's got a long way to go, but we saw it, dude. He's out there catching and shooting threes, like, and looking comfortable at it. Did he make a great percentage? No, but that's not like, we're not at ground zero with it. Like he has a shot. He just needs to groom it and polish it. To me, he's a super intriguing sleeper. And when we talk about the bigs that are going to drift into round 7, round 8, round 9, Kel'el Ware might be one of those guys. I think he's going to be a fantastic pick. He's got big upside. And you'll have big upside if you download the Sports Ethos app. Go to your favorite app store, download the Sports Ethos app. It's free. We're making big investments in what we call the next generation of sports ethos. The app is a big part of it. The last 12 months have been game-changing for us, and we're working hard behind the scenes to bring you the best fantasy product. Bam, the app. It's in your eye. Download the app now. Again, it's free. Stay on top of the latest news for the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball. Take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools because our ultimate edge is our app, and we want you to have it and use it, and then we'll all win championships together. And everyone will be happy. Doc, players who disappointed from the Miami Heat last year are?
Jaime Jaquez. The first half of his rookie year, he looked like a team leader, and he was heavily involved in everything they were doing, and he didn't look like a rookie. I'm like, man, this kid's going to be really good for them. And now he's just a guy. Like, they don't even care about him. Highly disappointing. Terry Rozier, is he done? I don't know, but it feels like it. And I guess those are my two. I was mad that Nikola Jovic got hurt. I was kind of digging him, but Terry Rozier and Jaquez are my two big disappointments.
We have basically the same ones. Duncan Robinson, it's a Spo thing. I think Duncan Robinson's terrific. I really like him. And he's going to pick up his option, and he will not be a free agent. So he'll languish on the Miami bench for one more year. And at that point, how many jumps does he have left? I don't know. But the second Miami paid Duncan Robinson, they stopped playing him. And the whole thing has made no sense to me. None. When he plays well. He's an elite three-point shooter. He's long. He can pass a little bit. I'm a fan. But that was disappointing. And there were opportunities, guys. You had guys hurt. You had openings in their starting lineup and their rotation, and Duncan Robinson still didn't really pop and get up to like 17, 18 points, 4 3 balls, like never really happened. Terry Rozier, is he done? Like, I think he could be a dynamo off of a contender's bench at this point, but in fantasy, he's done. He's a waiver wire guy. Yeah, Jovic got eaten up by Wiggins and Ware. Because when Bam was starting at the 5, you remember Jovic was the starting 4 over Caleb Martin. One of the reasons why Caleb Martin, even after that spectacular playoff run, moved on to another team is because they were starting Jovic over him, all right? And Jovic had a nothing year. And then you set up, the biggest disappointment at all is Jaquez. Like, going from darling to, like, you're out of the rotation. It was so weird. I don't know where we're going with Jaquez now. What I know, I think he's still a fantastic player. Glue guy. Loved him at UCLA. Loved him as a rookie, and things went haywire, but it's only 1 year. And then Jimmy Butler. The fact that you mailed in like 2.5 years with Miami, excluding the playoffs. He doesn't mail in the playoffs. Mailed in like 2 regular seasons in a row. 2.5, actually. You fall in Pat Riley's doghouse. He calls you out in press conferences. You're acting like a brat about the whole thing. And then you get traded to Golden State and just, all that kind of stuff, right? It's so lame, dude. It's so lame. Just bring it. Just bring it. You know what I'm saying, Doc? Why do we have switches? Why are we conditionally doing that? Just bring it, dude. But he won't because he's Hollywood. He's Mr. Frickin' Hollywood, Jimmy Butler. So that was disappointing. By the way, I've always had Pat Riley's back with that. I know the ball players always stick up for the other ball players, right? They're wrong, all right? Jimmy Butler got full of himself, stopped, playing with that, and Pat Riley was like, no. We're paying you for that, bro. And he called him out on it, and that pissed off Jimmy, and that ain't Riley's fault, bro. Pat Riley does not care about your feelings, and I love that, okay? Fortunately for Jimmy Butler, Steve Kerr, no, he doesn't care about your feelings either. I take that back. Let's see here. Ruined Jonathan Wiseman, James Wiseman. Pretty much ruined Moses Moody. He's tried to ruin Jonathan Kuminga. Hopefully Kuminga laughs last. Who else, Doc? Who am I forgetting here? Trace Jackson Davis. It's completely ruined him. So, yeah, Steve Kerr does not care about your feelings either. Doc, are we going to get a summer of big game hunting for the Miami Heat? Durant, Giannis, DeRozan, Beal. Do you feel like Miami's going to be able to swing for the fences and get a guy? Or do you think that ultimately this is the Miami Heat team that we're going to take into next season?
Is Bradley Beal a big game? Or is he more like when they take those
name?
when they take those doves and they put them in a field and they lock everybody in the field and it's totally illegal, and then it's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's Bradley Beal, dude. He's not big game. He's not like you went out and tracked you an elephant and took it down. You shot a dove in a field with a cage around it. I feel like the Heat and the Hawks need to go big game hunting if they want to win, like really win. Like they both have nice foundations and nice teams, but they aren't going to beat anybody in the playoffs. So the Hawks and the Heat, could they use a Giannis or a Kevin Durant? Sure they could. But I just don't know if they're going to get if they're going to be able to attract who they want. Things got really weird in Miami last year with Jimmy Butler. And like you said, players tend to back players. So that leaves a little bit of weirdness with. And let's not forget about how bad the Heat were in that playoff exit. Like, didn't even show up. Like, one of the worst outings we've ever seen in the playoffs. Like, just unbelievably bad.
Gave up.
And so that's the taste that's left in your mouth heading into the offseason. I don't know, man. Yes, they're probably going to try to go sign somebody. They need to. I don't know who it's going to be.
Our guy Davion Mitchell is a big topic of conversation. He's a restricted free agent. They have Duncan Robinson. Like I said, he's got an option on his contract. It's like 17 or 18 million. He ain't going to leave that. He'll pick that up. They have the 20th pick in the draft, so they will find another gem. They're awesome drafters in Miami. They got Jaquez. He was a find. They got Ware last year. He was, I think in the teens fine. And they're going to do that again here with the 20th pick. But the Davion Mitchell thing, Doc, is very interesting because Davion is a restricted free agent. Some team out there could sign him to an offer sheet. I presume I think Miami feels like they found something in Davion. And I am working under the assumption that he will be a member of the Miami Heat, that either they will pay him or somebody will sign him to an offer sheet and they will match that offer sheet. But I don't feel like they're going to let Davion Mitchell go. And here's what I would recommend to Davion Mitchell. Do not leave this program. Doc, he's 1 for 3 with programs in the NBA. Sac was a no, Toronto was a no, Miami was a yes. Don't think that you can take maybe a slightly bigger bag with another team, and then you go there and it's a bad fit and your career spirals, okay? Stay where your career is thriving, even if you're leaving a little bit of money on the table, but I don't think he's going to have to, Doc. I don't think he's going to have to. I think he's going to get full market value from the Miami Heat, maybe like 3 years, $30 million, something like that. But I'm working under the assumption that he will be a Heat next year.
I think so. And, you and Brewski always make fun of me because I'm like, I don't care about the Miami Heat. I'm not watching that garbage. Well, now that Kel'el Ware is there and now that we're getting a rejuvenated Davion Mitchell, who I'm a huge fan of at this point, and now that Jimmy Butler's gone, I'm kind of in on the Heat. Like, I will sit and watch the Miami Heat play basketball next year. So, yeah. I think Mitchell, like you said, would be wise to stay in Miami because they like him. They're a little bit in. They're going to be invested in him, and I think they like the role he played last year, and I liked it too. So, I doubt the rest of the league values Davion Mitchell as much as you and me and the Heat do.
Facts. Andre Lemouche is telling us reports indicate Davion should stick with the Heat with a contract on the 10 to 12 million per year range. Just like I said, around like 40 to 48 million over 4 years. I'm completely cool with that. 4 and 48, 4 and 40. Yep, we're all on the same page there with the price point for Davion Mitchell. And he's still a young guy, highly drafted guy. They call him off night for a reason. They love defense in Miami, and that's what his specialty is. So he'll get that money from Miami. All right, visit sportsethos.com. Check out our stuff over there. All of our brilliant minds, me, Doc, all of our baseball writers, football writers. We're launching into other sports. It's fantastic, man. Our goal is simple. We want to win with you. We want to help you guys win. We want you guys to come along for the ride. And here's how you do it. You subscribe to our stuff. It's low dough. It's not very much money. And if you get in now, we got grandfather programs where to lock in your price. And as we add value to the platform, your price won't go up. But it will for other people. Not a lot. But it will. So it's very affordable, and it will help you make money in cash leagues, DFS, and betting as well. Go to sportsethos.com and do it, if not now, very, very soon. Players to watch for the Miami Heat heading into next year, Doc. We've talked a lot about these guys, so maybe this is going to be a brief segment. But anything else you want to say in terms of what you're watching? Are you hot on anybody? Just talk to me.
I mean, we've covered this. I'm curious to see if Nikola Jovic comes back strong and has the same role. He was getting 25 minutes a game last year, basically more minutes than Zach Risachet was getting in Atlanta. And I kind of like Nikola Jovic. I like his game. So Jovic, Ware, Mitchell, I'm excited about seeing what those guys do next year.
I'm with it, dude. The only thing I have to add to that is Pell Larson. Like we say, you know, we go very, very deep here on these offseason recaps and look-aheads with these teams. So we've covered like everybody that matters on the Heat. I'm not going to say much about Pell Larson. I wonder how he's going to fit into the equation next year. He won't start, but how rotational will he be? He was the new Jaime Jaquez this year, a rookie. Not on a lot of people's radar. Late season, he played some games. We actually messed with him in fantasy during the playoffs. Okay, I remember making some pickups of Pell Larson and what Pell Larson do for me tonight, right? And kind of waiting on those box scores, right? Yes, that happened. But the question is, will the 2025 rookie usurp both Pell Larson and Jaime Jaquez? Again, the Heat draft at number 20. It seems like they're falling in love with their rookies here because Pell Larson kind of took the Jaquez role, and then Jaquez was kicked to the curb. What if the new rookie kicks both Jaquez and Larson to the curb rotationally? So I'm looking for that. All right, Miami Heat are done here. Let's move on to the Orlando Magic, Doc. Who was your fantasy MVP from the Orlando Magic 1 year ago? I should say this year, not 1 year ago.
Yeah, this season, got to be Paolo Banchero, right? No, doesn't have.
I mean, dude, I'm not leading the witness here. You call your own shot, brother.
Why?
I'll just say it's debatable. I think their fantasy MVP is debatable.
Why, when I switch teams, does it switch me over to postseason stats instead of regular season stats? Come on. Paolo was 25.9 points, 7.5 boards, 5 assists, steal, half a block. Franz was 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, almost a block. I mean, these guys are both really good. They both had their matching oblique injuries, which was cute. What a weird season in Orlando. And even when those guys were out, Orlando played better than they were supposed to. I'm gonna go co-MVP, Rick. Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. I'm taking the easy way out.
I kind of like that actually, because it really, this may be as as this conversation gets for any team. I'm gonna go Franz because of 14 games, which is basically a month.
60 more games, yeah. I mean,
he played 60, and Paulo played 46. So I guess that's a tipping point for me. But I also want to give Franz a bunch of credit. Franz Wagner is now a fantasy gold guy. I didn't know he was ever going to be a fantasy gold guy. He went 24, 6, and 5. That's not fantasy gold. That's just a badass PRA. 24, 6, and 5, guys. Again, that's Kobe-esque. And if you're wondering about that reference, sorry, guys. I just had a root canal yesterday. I got so much just shit going on. It's annoying. But Kobe basically every year was 25, 5, and 5. And it would like change a little bit. That 25, 5, and 5. I think it's his career stat line, like his career average stat line. That's why I say that. Whenever I see a guy around 25, 5, and 5, boom, it just takes me to a Kobe place. And Franz did that last year. 1.3 steals, 1.7 threes. Yes! This is what it should have always been. He was never even close to those numbers in the previous years. 1.3 steals and 1.7 threes. Never even close. And I didn't know that Franz was really capable, Doc. Look, I like Franz, fantastic young player, all this kind of stuff. 24, 6, and 5? Bro, it's a huge departure from who he ever was before that. I didn't know that he was ever going to put up a line like that. So that's another reason why I say fantasy MVP. Because I've always been a Paolo Banchero. Dude, going back to Duke, 6'10", 250, man-child out there, give me a break. I see some Weber, I see some Carmelo, I see some LeBron. Stop it. I've been on Paulo since, what does that Drake song say? Down since the beginning. I'm totally screwing up the Drake song, but anyway, who cares? I have a prediction for you, Doc.
Now we here.
What's that?
Started at the bottom, now we here.
Thank you. How do you know that and I don't know that? I mean, I'm not a big Drake guy. I don't really, but I do like that song. I think that's a cool song. Give me the what is it? Bar. Give me the bar again.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. Yeah, that's a cool song. I like that Drake song. I mess a little bit with Drake. I don't like all of his stuff. I'm a Public Enemy NWA guy, old school rap, bro. Like fire up some old LL Cool J, some Cool Mo D, Eric B and Rakim, like that old school hip hop, dude. That's kind of
bells.
Rock the Bells on Sirius is an awesome channel. It's not.
It's also an LL Cool J song.
Yes, it is. It's not as cool as Ozzy's Boneyard is number one for me on Sirius. Now that NBA radio cut me, I'll go with Ozzy's Boneyard, channel 38.
I love the Fantasy Sports channel on there. I used to be on show with those guys all the time. I loved it. I don't know what happened.
Well, they changed leaders multiple times. I used to have a regular show with Lisa Ann on Fantasy Sports Radio, and they changed bosses, and then I wasn't in favor, and yeah, so I'll just leave it at that.
Welcome to Sports Ethos, bro.
I'll just leave it at that. No, I mean, I'm super happy to be here, and there's no grudges, no bitterness, but some interesting decisions over the years. Let's just say that. But I have a prediction for you, Doc. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are about to flex on this league. Okay, they were going to do it last year, Doc, but you had these huge chunks for each player with these oblique injuries. That's not going to happen again. Okay, they combined for 50 points a game last year. Paolo and Franz, just those two guys, 50. Put it on the board every night. Paolo, to me, has a chance to rise up to 27, 28. Franz probably going to stay around 24, 25. They have a chance to get to about 55 combined points next season. I love them in fantasy. I love them in reality. Both might be all-stars next year, Doc. I know I'm hitting you with some big stuff. They're not hot takes. Paul's already been an all-star. Franz put up an all-star line, but the team was 41-41, and he got hurt, right? And think about this, dude. Paolo Banchero, because I want to make this point, and then I'll talk Paolo and get you started on this. If Orlando can stay healthy, which is a Jalen Suggs thing, and Paolo and Franz, they are going to win 50 games. And I believe they're going to be a top 4 team in the East. And if you can do that all year, and if Paolo and Franz are putting up badass stat lines, now they're both on the all-star radar, okay? So I think all of this is legitimately possible. And I want to give you a stat here on Paolo Banchero. Post-all-star, okay? This isn't March. This is post-all-star. 29, 8, and 4. 29, 8, and 4, Doc, with 2.13 balls per game. Is it crazy to think that Paolo could spike up to 28 points a game this year? Is that crazy?
I mean, he was at 26 last year. That's only one more basket a night. Yeah, absolutely. If Jalen Suggs is healthy and plays, we won't have 7 point guards out there running around with their heads cut off, not knowing what they're doing. I mean, the fact that Franz and Paolo scored that much without having, a lock, that they could count on at point guard, it's pretty impressive. So yeah, I'll be surprised if Paolo's not at 28.
He is entering the realm of second round pick. I feel great about him in round 3 though. But he may be an end of round 2 type of guy for me. Round 3 is all day for Paolo Banchero. All day. I feel like you're still getting value there. Round 4 is like you're stealing with Paolo Banchero. Andre asks us, Doc, since we're on the Hawks, we're on the Heat and we're on the Magic. He said rank on this episode. He said rank Jalen Johnson, Tyler Herro, Bam, Paolo, and Franz for next year. This is a mind bender from Andre Lemouche. Rank these guys: Jalen Johnson, Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo, Paolo, and Franz for next year. I'm gonna tell you right now, Bam Adebayo is number 1 on this list. I'm gonna tell you right now that Bam Adebayo is number 2 on this list. Jalen Johnson's number 3 on this list. Franz Wagner, I'm gonna go Herro number 4, and I'm gonna go Franz 5. Do you have your ranking, Doc? Okay, I'm going Paula 1, Bam 2, Jalen Johnson 3, Tyler Herro 4, Franz Wagner 5. It's a sensational question.
I did not hear your ranking, but what I wrote down was Paulo 1, Bam 2, Jalen 3, Franz 4, Herro 5.
Well, we only have one difference. Paulo, Bam, and JJ are the same for both of us. I had Herro at 4, Franz at 5. You had Franz at 5 and Herro. You had Franz at 4 and Herro at 5. So that's pretty cool. That was a good question.
And honestly, I think I would be happy getting any of these guys on my team at the right time. Like, let's say Paulo, Bam, Jalen, and Franz are all gone. Okay, I'll take Herro. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Will I really draft Bam Adebayo in front of Jalen Johnson? That's going to be a game time decision for me because I love Jalen, man. It's going to be it's hard. Like, Bam is not going to be one of my guys, and Jalen probably is. But I don't know if Jalen will be because stupid injuries. Anyway, back to the Magic.
Dude, Bam Adebayo and Jalen Johnson have a very similar stat set. Think about this, Doc. Jalen last year was 19, 10, and 5. Bam he's right around 19, 10, and 5, right? So the PRA is very similar. Jalen was 1+, 1+, 1+. Bam is inching his way towards 1+, 1+, 1+. The percentages are good. They're really similar players. I think Jalen is sexier. I think there's more upside with Jalen Johnson, especially in the fantasy gold, but games played, and you know Bam's going to play 70+ games.
Bam is reliable, and Jalen is a mystery. So, I mean, that's the ultimate upside versus stability. Like, you just know what you're going to get from Bam every night. You're safer taking Bam, honestly. You really are.
What did Dirty Harry say back in the day? Do you feel lucky today, punk?
Do you feel lucky, punk? Do ya?
It did not go well for that punk at all. Players. Oh my God. So players who surprised. I'm going to hit you with a joke. This is all I got. Players who surprised for the Orlando Magic last year. There were really none of them. They all did about what I thought they would do. I'm going to give you one surprise, though, Doc. The fact that Corey Joseph came out of the NBA player grave to start 16 games for the Orlando Magic was a really big surprise for me, Doc. So, I mean, Tristan da Silva, kinda, but not really. There really wasn't a whole lot surprising other than like 2 oblique injuries to your forwards and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of player performance and all that, did anything surprise you from the Magic last year?
They dug Corey Joseph up out of the ground, propped him up, and rolled him out there so that he could give us 3.5 points and 1.4 assists as their starting point guard. Like, come on. My God, it was just horrible. So Corey Joseph, Cole Anthony.
That's how bad Cole Anthony was. You know what that says? That's how bad Cole Anthony was.
And Anthony Black, all 3 of those dudes combined to play all these point guard minutes for this team, and it was a disaster. We need Jalen Suggs back. Outside of that, I mean, I guess Franz Wagner's season was a little surprising. I was kind of going in on Wagner coming into the year. I thought, all that talk about his shot being broken and whatnot. I'm like, this is still Franz Wagner. He's going to figure this out. So his season was a little surprising, but other than that, it was just a bunch of, it was rough.
Good point. It was surprising to me. I said that earlier, and I kind of like had him as my fantasy MVP in a different segment. But yeah, I was surprised at what Franz did last year. I'll add that to the mix. All right, players who disappointed. Doc, you want to go first on this one?
I mean, my list, I kind of starts and ends with Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Not the same dude that left Denver and showed up in Orlando. Like, did he even care that he was playing for this team? You couldn't tell. 8.7 points. Just so many 2-point games and just not involved. It was very, very weird to me what Kentavious Caldwell Pope was doing. Goga Batadze, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Wagner, all sort of a three-headed center there. I'm always impressed when Wendell Carter Jr. does anything, honestly, but not really too impressed with any of those guys. Batadze, I think, was a disappointment. And, hey, 71 games out of John Isaac. Finally happened, Rick. He's finally back. The fantasy savior has finally returned to grace us with 5 points and 4 rebounds and 15 minutes a game. So if that works for you, do it again next year, people. But I've been out on Jonathan Isaac for a while. I feel bad that his career never really turned out the way it's supposed to.
That's not even rosterable in 30 deep, what you just said. Like Jonathan Isaac in a 30-team league where every team has 12 dudes, it's not even rosterable. All right, who disappointed for me? Jalen Suggs. I have a Jalen Suggs jersey. I love Jalen Suggs. He's one of my homies in the NBA, all right? The stat line was amazing, too. 16, 4, and 4, 0.9 blocks, 1.5 steals, 2.5 threes. He popped. He had his pop year. And then the pop went away because he got dang hurt again, okay? But that's not who Jalen Suggs was in any previous year. It's who he's always had the potential to become. And he finally did that. Look, I'm telling you right now, if the Magic are healthy next year, they're going to win 50 games. You're going to have Suggs. You're going to have Paolo and Franz. KCP is going to be more engaged and more motivated. You've got, 3 centers that are all like pretty good with Batadze and Carter, and Mo Wagner will come back at some point from the torn ACL. You've got all these young draft picks that they've made to fill out your bench. I'm into it, okay? And Andre's asking a question here on Suggs, and it's a good one. Can you trust Suggs? He looked really good. Yes, he did. The games played is a major issue. Can I trust Suggs? No. The question for me is, Doc, because you can't. The games played, you cannot trust this guy with the games that he misses. But then Celeste asks another question. Will I draft Jalen Suggs? The answer is yes. But it's conditional. I'm certainly, Doc, not overdrafting Jalen Suggs, knowing that he might give me 47 games. But he's a guy that I'm monitoring, and if he slides a little bit, I will bang Jalen Suggs at the right time. So I'm probably looking to get him a round or two off of ADP value and not right smack dab on ADP. But yeah, I will definitely mess with Suggs this year. Because again, Doc, it's the 3 strikes and you're out. It's been like 2 strikes for Suggs. If he does it to me again, then he's probably on the dead to me list, but he's not there yet.
Dude, you just ruined my question because I was going to ask you how many strikes Suggs has. And I know you love Suggs.
I love Suggs.
If he,
I may give him 4. I may give him 4.
You may let him foul one off.
Yes. I may. Yes. Exactly.
All right.
We may need 4 strikes on Jalen.
Because I'm struggling, man. I'm more intrigued by how much you love Suggs than I am with Suggs himself, because I really haven't watched him play that much. But I know that if you're that fired up about him, like I probably should be too. But I'm struggling with all these games played issues, and I don't know, man. I think he's probably going to be too rich for me next year. Like I'm not probably drafting Jalen Suggs.
Let me ask you a question, a reality question. Who, in your opinion, plays the hardest in the entire NBA? In terms of when we say play hard. You remember like Joakim Noah with the Bulls? He always had the face. Like he always had that face, right? He's
Like
played hard.
Rodman, and Artest, like
Yeah,
they were
yep.
always going balls to the wall and diving.
Every minute of every game.
I
Who do
mean,
you think like leads the NBA in that category right now?
I don't know. I need to look. I need to go back and look at a list of players.
All right.
Who are you
So
leading me to?
Suggs.
Really?
Suggs. That's why I love Jalen
Is
Suggs.
he always on the ground? Is he always on the ground
Always on the ground.
after every play? Like Dwayne
Not
Wade?
yeah, a lot of plays. And it's not like John Morant or Dwayne Wade where he's driving to the cup and getting fouled and like falling down, right? Tony Parker, Allen Iverson, guys like that. Like they fell a lot, like driving and getting fouled, right? That's not it for Suggs. He's diving on the floor. He's trying to take charges. He's trying to save balls in bounds to teammates, like falling into the stands. Like, dude, he is electric, man. And like when he'll dive and get a steal, and then as he's rolling, he'll like pass it to a guy. They get a fast break buck, and then it's like, and gets the crowd going and stuff. Like, I love the guy. I love Jalen Suggs. Does he play the hardest of any player in the NBA? I'm not going to say that right now, but Doc, he's in the top 5. He is in the top 5 of playing hard in our league right now. That's why I love Jalen Suggs so much. So
it's also why he's always hurt.
And it's a reason why he's always hurt. Like Neesmith comes to mind. Doesn't Neesmith always play hard?
Yeah.
Alex Caruso comes to mind. That dude, does Alex Caruso ever take a possession off, Doc?
No.
Not one. Not one. So those are the homies. I love the guys that play hard and are diving on the floor and trying to win the damn game, man. All right, so Cole Anthony, Doc, he disappointed me. Dude, and you were mentioning, just quickly here on Jonathan Isaac, 71 games. Yes, all right. 15 minutes a game, bro. What the fuck is that? But Cole Anthony, dude. Doc, it was a disaster for Cole Anthony. And here's why. Cole Anthony, his career, not just in fantasy ball, but in reality, and I'm talking about owners and GMs that make these decisions, he went like this, bro. Boo. He fell off a cliff, bro. You don't have Suggy, and Cole Anthony's not starting. And then there were moments without Suggs where Cole Anthony fell out of the rotation altogether. Bro, he's on a dinghy in the middle of the Pacific right now, drifting away from like the career that he once had. It's that bad. Dude, he went 9-3-3 in a non-Suggs year. Okay, what, dude? So that was disappointing to me. And I really like Cole Anthony. I think he's going to be a hot shot on TV when he's done playing. But he's a fantasy waiver wire guy. And entering last year, I still had some. I don't know. I still liked him. I still thought there was some fantasy utility there in Cole Anthony, but it flew out the window last year. Dr. A. All right, offseason outlook. This is not a sexy offseason team, Doc. They don't have any free agents. They draft 16 and 25. Word on the street is they're going to try to bundle a couple of dudes like recent draft picks and 16 and 25 to try to do some stuff. I don't think they're going to get very far with that. Do you think Orlando needs to make a move, or would you, like we have done with Houston, we want Houston to just stay pat? Don't go get Durant. Keep building like OKC has. Do you want Orlando to do that, or do you want them to maybe bundle and try to go get a star?
I mean, they're another team like the Hawks and the Heat that need a star. They have a star. The Paolo Banchero is that guy, but they need Jalen Suggs to step up and be the guy. Because if it doesn't happen, then you're wasting Paolo and Franz. And they could also they need a center and a point guard, dude. I don't like any of their centers. I don't like any of their point guards if Suggs isn't healthy. And contrary to popular belief, you still need big men to win in the NBA. The Pacers have Miles Turner. The freaking Thunder have Hartenstein and Chet. So they need a center and they need a point guard, a healthy point guard. So if I was them, I'd try to make improve and get better, because like you said, if things go right, they could be a top 3 or 4 team in the East if they can keep everybody healthy. And if they add another piece, who knows?
I would recommend just organically building. You're Orlando. Nobody really cares. Your media stays off of you. There's no expectations. You don't have to do anything ever. You're in Orlando. And by the way, I love the city of Orlando. I love the Orlando Magic organization. I have buddies in the organization, Alex Martins, Joel Glass. I've just connected with them a lot over the years. And I'm a fan of the Magic. Like, I do like them. I mean, I'm a Wolves fan, but I'm down here in Florida, and I do kind of like the Magic. I kind of half-ass pull for them. So yeah, I think I would just stay where you are, build organically. I just don't think they're not ready to go get a Kevin Durant. Like, they're not seasoned enough. They're not like one piece away from like going to the championship. They're just not there yet. They've got like a couple of ladder steps to go up. And so this year, Doc, we have not seen like mature Suggs, mature Wagner, mature Paolo all humming at the same exact time. We have not seen that yet. So just do that. See what those three cats with the guys around them can do. And if it sucks and it blows up again, then go make a move. But don't make a move before you even know if what you have is good enough. They don't even know that yet. By the way, shout out to Draymond Green in the playing hard conversation. I do need to shout him out for that. Players to watch, Doc, and we'll get out of here and wrap up this show here. For me, Suggs and Paolo. That's who I'm watching. I'm not watching Jett Howard, Anthony Black, Tristan Da Silva, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Wagner's recovery. God bless them all. I don't care. Okay, I know Franz is going to be Franz. Paolo, Doc, is like, for me, what I'm watching for. We know he's going to be really, really good and potentially like sensational. Is he going to enter the fringe of the MVP conversation? That's where I'm at with Paolo Banchero. Because I see this team winning 50 games, all right? If you're top 4 in the East, your stats are amazing, you're an all-star, you might kind of sort of enter the fringe of MVP, like Cade Cunningham did this year. And that's according to me, nobody else. I do a top 10 for MVP. Cade Cunningham was in my top 10. I wonder if Paolo will enter the top 10 for MVP next year. I presume he will. And then for Suggs, Doc, it's will he enter the defensive player of the year race? Because he is that good, that elite, that shark bite, much of a difference maker. And if he can get up to 2 steals per game, and he's making all these defensive plays, the Magic are winning 50 games. Let's say the Magic have the first or second best defensive team rating in the league, right? He may get some DPOY burn. So those are the things I'm watching for, dude.
I'm watching Suggs in his injury. I'm watching all these centers to see who comes out on top. I think Mo Wagner might end up being the guy, right? And if Mo Wagner is going to start out there with Franz, you've at least got my attention. And then, unlike you, I am slightly intrigued with Tristan Da Silva. I feel like he was a guy you could plug into a FanDuel lineup occasionally, and he would come through. And he played in 74 games, made 38 starts, played 22 minutes a night. Interesting. I'm interested to see what his role is next year, but generally speaking, kind of a boring good team. Sneaky good. They seem to be sneaky good.
They're better than the sum of their parts, I would say, and that goes to coaching. And Jamal Mosley is one of the elite coaches in the NBA. People just don't know it yet. But to go 41-41 last year with basically no Suggs, Paolo and Franz missing all their games, and they still were a 500 team. With Anthony Black and Gary Harris and all Jamal Mosley can coach his ass off, man. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of all you. I know Doc is as well. Thank you guys so much. We love you out there in fantasy land. Checking us out on the Fantasy NBA today. For Hall of Famer Steve Alexander and our great producer Andre Lemouche, a.k.a. AL, a.k.a. AI around here. I am Rick Kamla. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online, and Doc and I will see you soon.